I pulled 2 slabs off of here that are decent looking live edge boards. Like this here, I feel like this is a nice decorative piece of wood. But what's anybody going to do with that? Is there a way to, you know, get anything out of that? I'd kind of like to know. So if I have any woodworkers, artists, loggers, sawmill junkies, whatever, watching this video, give me your opinions on this stuff. What would you do with this? Now, the answer may just be I'd never fool with a junk log like that. And if that's the case, tell me that. I want to know your opinions on that stuff. That this will be the last project that I mill on the MechMaxx SM-26. Well, hey there, hobby homesteaders. Welcome back to Peaks Peak. My name's Lucas, and I'm sharing my hobbies here on 38 acres in eastern Kentucky. And today I'm back up in the wood yard. I've got a couple of small walnut logs I'm going to throw on the mill and mill us up some materials to build something for the wedding. And I think it's going to turn out pretty cool. Now, I'm going to share something with you guys today, and that is that there's a very good possibility that this will be the last project that I mill on the MechMaxx SM-26. I've got something coming that I think you're gonna like. I always end up here having to make trips because, well, I've got to have the tractor and the forks to set logs on the mill, but then I end up needing tools and things in the side-by-side. But I thought today I'm ready. I've got everything up here I need, so I'm just gonna drive the tractor. I'll put me a log on the mill. We'll get this thing milled up and ready to roll. And then I got up here and realized that I don't have any gas. I'm pretty sure the mill's low on fuel. So, I think I'm gonna have to set this log and then go back down and get the side-by-side and get some gas. First thing I've got to do is grab that pallet over there and clear all this firewood off the table. So, I guess we're gonna fire up the split fire tonight too. Might as well do it all. Well, we got some raindrops moving in, so I'm gonna get a log set on the mill and try to get back down the hill and get the side-by-side so I can get up here and just work under the sawmill shed. Man, this is fun. All right, these are a couple of squirrely walnut logs, but it's on here. I think I'll just leave it right now and go down and get the side-by-side. I'm not real sure this walnut didn't start growing branches sitting over there. I ain't real sure what we're gonna get out of this one. It's kind of a mess. All right, let's get this sucker fired up. See what we got going here. First pull every time, I'm telling you. Bought me a new tape measure just for the sawmill. I'm gonna leave it up here. It's got glow in the dark numbers and everything. I don't think they actually glow in the dark, but I want to make sure. Oh yeah, we can come down quite a ways. I want to leave at least 4 inches. That puts us at about 6 right there. I'm gonna go ahead and make that cut and see where it puts us. Give her the old eyeball down the rail here. Yeah, we're well above everything. Well, we're definitely going to have to just go down another 2 more inches. If you are a scavenger like me, and that's kind of how I've always been, try to get by with parts that I can find laying around, or try to get by with the logs that I have on the property, or what's laying around, or leftovers, or scraps from the log yard across the road. I've just always been kind of a scavenger because I've never had a lot of money to blow. So if you are a scavenger like me, and you're trying to get the most out of logs that really probably nobody else would even fool with milling, that's where this laser thing comes in really handy. I've kept it on here and tried it for different scenarios, and this to me is the perfect scenario. So I've got a log on here that you can see just how much garbage is on this log. It's really bowed, has some big knots sticking up here and there. Really hard to figure out how to square this thing up and get anything useful out of it at all. Well, I've got the 2 sides flat, and it's hard for me to show it on camera when there's bark on the log because the laser's not just super bright in those circumstances. But when you've got the log opened up, you can actually see the line on the log here all the way from one end to the other, and it really helps you line up exactly where you should start your cut and not waste any wood, because in a curly log like this, I mean, if you waste any, there's not going to be any left. So you can see how it curves down at the end. So my line comes to right here. Now, I've got just a little bit of softwood and bark left here on the end, but I'm going to go ahead and cut that way because it allows me to get the most out of the log the rest of the distance. And we've got a 10-foot 3-inch, 10-foot 4-inch log here, so some of this might end up being cut off anyway. I think the boards that I'm after probably only need to be about 7 foot long. This end part is not going to make much difference. So the laser helps me visualize. Maybe if you're experienced, you don't need something like that. But for me, this is very handy to have. I wanted to show one quick update to what I had to do to really get this laser to work well, because the plastic mount on this laser is not the strongest, and in the heat it started to kind of sag. Well, then the self-leveling didn't work. See, if you've got it tilted one way or the other too far, it won't self-level, and that's when the flashing comes in. See, so what I did was put me a zip tie on here to tighten it up against that plastic so that it can't sag anymore, and that keeps it self-leveling, and it's working out great. I've never even had to charge the thing yet, and I've used it quite a few logs. All right, now I know the reason all of you watch my channel is for your opportunity to point and laugh. So let's see how good I did. I'm gonna lay all these side by side and see how uniform my 2x2s came out. Hey now, I might be getting better at this. Now, they're not perfect. We've got a little bit of bow in them. And listen, for you guys who are trying to help me by explaining how to center the pith and all of those things, I'm not ignoring you. And maybe that's the answer to a log like this. I don't know, but I'm just not there yet mentally. I'm not keeping up with all the information I'm getting. So, you know, if you're trying to help me out and you're giving me pointers and then you see me not using them, it's not that I'm trying to ignore you. Keep them coming. And as I can, I'll digest them and try to get better. That being said, I'm going to share with you all the scraps that I cut off of this walnut log because I want input as to what's worth something and what's not. What should I be cutting up for firewood or throwing in the burn barrel or whatever. They bowed just a little bit, so they're not perfect, but they are going to be perfect for what we're using them for. I'm going to get to that part of the project. So I brought you to the slab table so you can evaluate the scrap or crap or whatever you want to call it. All right, so first of all, we had the big end that was dipping off of the end of the log, and I don't know that you can do anything with that, so, you know, chopped it off, and that'll be split into firewood. I have two sides that I cut off that are 4.5 inches wide, but they get down to about, you know, a 1/2 inch thick in the middle with softwood. So I don't know that you can do anything with something like that. I should try to hold it up there at the camera where you can sight down it and see, you know, I don't know that you can do anything with that. So it is what it is. Now, what I did run into is I pulled two slabs off of here that are decent looking live edge boards. Like this here, I feel like this is a nice decorative piece of wood, but what's anybody going to do with that? Is there a way to, you know, get anything out of that? I'd kind of like to know. So if I have any woodworkers, artists, loggers, sawmill junkies, whatever, watching this video, give me your opinions on this stuff. What would you do with this? Now, the answer may just be I'd never fool with a junk log like that. And if that's the case, tell me that. I want to know your opinions on that stuff. But I also want to know what I'm leaving on the table when it comes to this stuff. No pun intended. Okay, so that's going to be it for tonight. But this video is not going to end here. So stay with me because I'm going to come back up the next chance I get, throw the last walnut log on here and get what I can get out of it. Because I don't think this is quite enough lumber for what we're trying to build. Any of you figured out what we're going to build yet? I don't know if there's enough clues there yet or not, but it does have to do with the wedding, and they're pretty common in weddings, so we'll get there. Well, it's the first time I've done that. I kind of just felt like I was in decent position and was going to just let it roll, but well, I was right. My logs were growing limbs cut up on the ground. Tells you how much moisture's still in a log. Because these have been cut up for, what, 6 months? So this is actually day 2. It is Friday afternoon. I just got off work. Got my clothes changed and hurry up here so I can try to get a log milled. The thing about this log is, you know, it's kind of another junky log like we had before, but I still think I can get a few pieces out of it. So I'm going to kind of approach it the same way I did the last one and just try to salvage everything I can out of it, and we'll see what we end up with. So as we mill up this walnut log, I'm going to share with you why I said this is probably the last project that we mill on the SM-26. We are about to upgrade from the MechMaxx SM-26 to the MechMaxx SM-32 with the 15-horse Kohler electric start engine. Now, I have been extremely satisfied with the SM-26. The Rato engine that's on it with the pull start has worked great. It starts easy.
This has done a really good job to introduce us to milling. What this mill has really accomplished for us is it has convinced me that milling is a hobby that I want to pursue. So I've decided I'm going to upgrade tractors and get a bigger tractor so that I can handle bigger logs, and that means that I want a bigger mill. So as we finish up milling this walnut log here, we'll have all the materials we need to finish the last project for the wedding. However, as you know, a bigger mill is going to have a wider base, so that means we're going to have to make some modifications before we set the new mill. What we decided to do is add some 2x6s onto the side of our current mill base, and that will widen it out just enough that it'll be the perfect width to set that SM-32. Now, the one thing that I thought of that's a downside to swapping out mills is I've started my sticker collection on the front of this one, and I'm going to have to start over when I set a new mill. But I believe everyone, with the exception of Hank at Hamiltonville Farms, sent me more than one sticker. So we'll be able to place those stickers on the mill, and hopefully I'll run into Hank in the near future and I can get another one from him. So let's grab a big pine log, see if we can't get enough 2x6s to add to the side of our mill base and get ready for this new mill.
Real quick, I'm going to do a demonstration as to why ballast on the rear of your tractor is so important when you have weight on the front loader. This is why always when you're going to be using your loader, you need to have some kind of ballast on the back of your tractor, because they're just not meant to have weight hanging out on the front when there's no weight to offset it on the back. It's hard on your axles, it's hard on everything else, plus it's dangerous. So I tend to make that mistake. I think I'm coming up here to grab a small log and it's no big deal, and then I end up picking up a bigger log than I meant to, and here's what I run into. And that's how quick it can happen. So when you are moving things with your loader that are heavy, use ballast on the rear and always have your hand on that loader control and be ready to dump the load. Drop the load, get the weight off of it, and the back tires will come back down. You can control it, but you have to know that it's going to happen and be prepared for it. Look out. Stay back. Maple, stay back. Come on. All right, whoa. Back off. Actually, pull right against it and hold it while I put the clamp on it. Stop. Hold it right there. Man, I don't know about this one alone. Shoo doggy. All right, I got to introduce you guys to somebody again, because it's like Extreme Makeover Dog Edition right here. We took Maple to get her groomed up.
Me, and Mom.
Caden and Mama took Maple to get her groomed up. And she does not look like the same animal. Do you, Maple? Huh? Turn around here. Say hi.
Come here.
You say hi? Say hi. Oh, nope. I don't do kisses. I don't do kisses. But you're a good dog. You're a good dog. Anyway, it was time, and we're not good at that kind of stuff, so we just took her somewhere. Where'd you take her?
PetSmart.
PetSmart. Took her to PetSmart, and they did a really good job. And they said no ticks, nothing like that. Her hair wasn't matted up, so she's in good shape. I think she's pretty cute. All right, well, our last log on the SM-26 is a dandy. We are 8.5 by 10 on this cant. So, shoo doggy. This kind of turned into more of a project than I thought it was going to. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call this a day and call this a video. And we'll finish these projects on the next one. I kind of let the cat out of the bag about upgrading the mill and all that. So there's a lot going on in this video. But we've still got our project that we're working on for the wedding. And actually, I think the next video that I'll make will be a continuation of this, where I finish that project and I also put my side rails on for converting to my bigger mill. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Getting to watch us do a little bit more milling, the last of the milling on the SM-26 before we make our big upgrade. Till next time, get outside and enjoy God's creation, because it's beautiful out here. I hear Caden on his way up the hill. He's bringing me some water, and we're gonna go fishing. Y'all have a good day.